Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to the Citadel. Today, we're gonna try a new game. Void Sales. This came out recently. It is, I think, in full release. I want to double check this real quick. Seems to be in full release. It's got a aesthetic very similar to Treasure Planet, as far as the ships are concerned, and that's what drew my attention. It seems to be, I mean, it's a choose your own adventure. There's some, your choices matter, seems to be saying. It does have mixed reviews, which concerns, but we'll give it a shot, see how it turns out. If it's bad enough, I'll bail partway through the stream and we'll do something different. But I figured we'd give it a shot and see what came of it. It looks interesting. Hopefully, it will live up to its looks. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for watching my videos and hanging out. Hopefully, you're having fun with my channel. And we're gonna get started. So, yeah. Welcome to Void Sales. Got kind of an eldritch twist to it, too, it seems. Made with Unity. Seems to have a skill-based, or at least a dice-based system. Not a lot here. Well, let's give her a shot. Start the new game, all progress will be lost. Sure you want to continue onwards. Departure. You may not know me yet, but I have urgent news. Your father, Leonardo Salvatore, the renowned explorer and scholar, has vanished in his latest expedition. A professional hazard, so to speak. However, this case is of particular interest to me. Seek me in the capital. The ship will be waiting you at the docks. Until then, the man in yellow. If you're going to sign a man in yellow, I'm not necessarily going to be too keen on following you. You stare at the letter again. Leonardo, your father, gone. The letter came unexpectedly. Not much time to prepare. You look at your room, reminiscing about your past. So were you a university or apprenticeship? Go university. Blissful time, you've toiled relentlessly over the manuscripts, gaining every bit of knowledge possible. There was one subject which interested you the most, the one which framed your view of the world and shaped your personality. Applied science, or rhetorics and philosophy. Let's go with resolve. Rhetorics and philosophy. I was a religions and philosophy major, so that makes sense to me. Words became your weapon, ideas your battlefield. Debates would rage endlessly, and some students would state their arguments after class. You often finished the day with red-tainted knuckles. Wow. My school was never that rough and tumble. You double check your luggage, a few sets of clothes, some of your savings. There was little time to prepare, but you took one particular item. An old book or a magnifying glass. Let's go magnifying glass. Let's get some perception in there. You grab the set of magnifying glasses and put them into your luggage. No more time to waste. As the dawn breaks and the sky clears, you close the door and head for the docks, searching for the ship. As you make your way, a young man with bright red hair suddenly approaches you. Okay, so this is... not helpful. Ah, Captain, found you. Morning. Name is Sheen O'Brien. I'll be your first mate, ready to take command and set sail. He gives you a wide smile, displaying a set of straight teeth. Sean, is it Sean? These types of names really bug me. Like, as far as like being able to read them. Looks pleased to meet you and eager to set sail. Thought you'd be in command of the ship. To be honest, I was surprised as well. But the man in yellow was insistent. Strange fellow he is. Worry not. Starfaring might look intimidating initially, but it doesn't differ much from sailing the seas. And just look at the ship he got us. He points to the ship behind him, peacefully rocking at the pier, its engines humming, ready to take off at a moment's notice. Inspect the ship. Tests. To perform a test, you need to roll a number. That number is compared to the value of your attribute shown in the middle of the dial. If the number rolled is equal or less, you will have succeeded. I attribute the greater the chances of success. Okay. Lightweight brig equipped with solar core. The sail's fabric accumulates energy and directs it to a powerful engine. Excess energy is stored and redistributed to light accelerators and an absorbent field. In combination with engraved hardwood, which allows for zero buoyancy, it creates an agile ship capable of navigating between the stars. Sean diverts his attention to the crew's preparation. As the ship soars high above the clouds, you leave the port behind. Several days later, you arrive at Cloudshire, a lush agricultural region and the first stop on your way before reaching the capital. You must acquire a travel permit from the nearby castle. It will allow you to navigate safely through the new world. Well, I love the art style and, like, the look of the thing. Oh, that's mighty pretty. Engine A&D to turn.
Right, Captain. It's time for you to take the helm. I see you've already managed to make the ship move. Perfect start, eh? Just remember, it's a starfaring ship, not some flimsy tiny boat. Let's try something different. See those floating crates around the islands? Aim our cannons and show 'em what you got.
Right mouse button to enter aim mode, left mouse button to fire broadsides. So far, I'm liking this.
Aye, good. See, told it was easy. There's more to commanding the ship, but I'll show you when the time comes. Now, let's just keep the course. If you find something of interest you'd like to explore, feel free to do so. Just sail next to a pier and disembark. The boys and I'll stay on the ship conducting repairs.
Okay, so the front cannon go boom. So the sails don't change. It's kind of a missed opportunity. Very much Treasure Planet, though, feel. Which I'm liking. I wish there was another gear, but it could just be that our equipment is, for lack of a better term, crappy. Interesting world. So there's several piers around. What button do I hit? Settings, keyboard, interact F. There we go. Abandoned church. Stand outside church's doors wide open. The church bell rings solemnly under the mild wind. The place doesn't look particularly old, although abandoned. It must have been built in the last few decades. Perhaps something interesting can still be inside? Inside, though it looks much more damaged, strange overgrowth covers the wall with thick, dark roots, creating a mosaic pattern. They seem to be covered in most of the church except a golden mask placed in an otherwise barren altar. The stone around it is slightly charred. The mask's empty sockets watch closely as you make your next move. Failure. Search your memory, nothing comes to mind. This is a picture masks at every opportunity. Do not have any artifact. Okay. Critical success. You grab the mask and pull. It is set firmly in the stone, but eventually it starts to give way. When finally removed, it suddenly emits a sharp and painful light. You close your eyes right in time, avoiding otherwise possible damage. When the light seizes, the mask stays firmly in your hands. Golden mask.
Time to use some of that sweet solar energy our ship's sails accumulate. Send the engine core to overdrive. It'll make the ship both faster and more responsive to your commands.
Nice.
Ah, Cloudshire. Warm sun, fertile fields. Too bad we can't stay here for too long. Which reminds me, we must get a travel permit to continue past this point.
Dialogue volume needs to go up.
There's the Castle of St. Isidore in this region. If you ask nicely, I'm sure they can issue us the permit.
Stolen ring. You dive the ship and head towards the village square. As you continue deeper, you spot the town hall. Even from the outside, you can hear agitated shouts. You push open the heavy door of the town hall. Inside is a massive crowd of people. Looks like the whole village is gathered here. In the middle of is a stage where a big burly man can be seen. His face is red with anger and his wheat-colored hair is drenched in sweat. He shouts at an elderly woman somewhat shielded by a young boy in front of her. Ask around first. Despite initial suspicions towards the stranger, you convince the bystanders and share some details. The big angry man is Mr. Miller. He seems convinced that Frau Bruder and her boy stole Miller's family relic as retribution for increasing grain prices. You approach the stage to get a better look. You get closer, trying to get a better look, when suddenly the man spots you in the crowd and directs his violent gaze to you. Who might you be? What do you want? Act politely. Captain, you say? From Earth, you say? Don't make me laugh. We haven't had newcomers since this last sowing season. You are with them, aren't you? Involved in this crime somehow. He points towards the elderly woman and the young boy. Who are these people? Hey, Lily. How you doing? These? Ah, yes, but of course, the Honorable Frau Buer and her bastard of a son, Rudolph. Their family was always been shady, constantly trying to undercut me and beg for lower grain prices. But thievery of my ring, blessed by Lord Inquisitor himself? That's a new low. Just wait till I get the proof. There won't be any more bureaus here. You can see several strong men standing by the entrance door, all with wheat-colored hair, and an angry look. Thought you were ignoring me? No, I wasn't. I just didn't realize you were there, Lily. My apologies. I was distracted by this, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I must be out of it. Seeing that you have nothing of value right now, Mr. Mueller returns to the bureaus. The atmosphere is tense and the men at the door seem impatient. Perhaps if you find the ring, you may resolve the situation. The mountain cave nearby might be a good place to start. Alien isolation tonight? You doing it? When are you thinking about getting started? Said Thursday night you'd be able to stay up and watch. Yep. I can. Well, at least, I can't stay until 4 a.m., but I can stay for a while, yeah. I'm excited. Ooh, upgrades. After 10 p.m. so I don't get distracted. Sounds good. We didn't fully flesh out the sentence. Interrupted? Yeah, fair. Energy capacity. Outside cannon damage. Solar cannon charge cost. Let's go with that.
Easy, easy there, Captain.
And in darkness,
Careful around the
ships fuel
corners.
less energy.
While
Energy
inside,
is.
our sails will accumulate much less energy, so spend it wisely.
Mining caves. You stand inside what seems to be an abandoned mine. The cave walls look unstable, barely supported by old wooden beams. Turning over minecarts and leftover equipment rotting in the dim. Explore the cave. Oh, I fail. Minerals collect solar dust. The vein had been depleted, judging by its appearance. Narrow hole. Put your hand in it. The hole is narrow and not particularly deep. You move your hand around. There is no longer. Whatever was there is no longer. A trail of footprints leads off in the cave passage. I have to say, this seems like a really interesting idea, but it also doesn't seem fully implemented. Like, this could have used some more work.
Something is off. Boys, get the cannons ready. Remember to use the shields to protect the ship.
Hold Q to use shields when in aiming mode forward.
Good job, lads. Don't forget to check the area. I've seen supply crates floating nearby.
Now, there's a lot of things they could have done that would have made this game really interesting, and they just didn't do it. Fort ruins. At last, as the cannons grow silent and the dust settles, you can see the fort clearly. Several towers, walls patched up with thick planks of wood. A group of small rowing boats can be seen escaping through the narrow tunnels behind the fort. Strange vegetation covers multiple sections of the fort. Dark, twisted roots stretch across the walls. You dock your ship and head through the massive wooden doors. The inner courtyard is in complete disarray. Massive plants congregate in the dark corners, and multiple empty crates and barrels are scattered around. Most people must have left before your arrival, because the small garrison encountered during the fight. Except for the small garrison. Something must have forced them away. Let's see if I can fail this, too. The roots are cold to the touch, hard as stone, and covered with a thin layer of moisture. You've heard of these plants. No one truly knows what they are, but wherever they appear, they tend to grow and spread uncontrollably. And when they do, the Inquisition usually follows, insulating entire regions, relocating its population. However, no one really saw where the people were sent. Oh, great. Prepare to leave. Something catches your eye. There's a small clearing between two plants. In it was a golden ring. Take the ring. Inside the ring, just come photos. Slowly carved into the gold.
See those cracked rocks? Hey, we can clear the path using our cannons. Who do you think they were? The people in the fort, I mean. Plenty of pirates around, but the Empire usually manages to keep them at bay. I hope it was someone exciting, like a secret society plotting a revolt against the Inquisition, eh? Or a bunch of cultists, eh? Mining leftover solar dust to perform an evil ritual.
I like my quiet, easy life, buddy. Increases broadside cannon damage. Stolen ring. You take the ring out and hand it to Mr. Mueller. He snatches it from your fingers and quickly puts it in his pocket. The news of an abandoned fort surprises everyone. A group of people is even leaving the town hall to investigate. Abandoned fort, you say? Well, that is unusual, to say the least. And how did it get there? Was it the delinquent who hid it? He pointed at Rudolph. His eyes widen as he awaits your answer. You didn't find any proof of his involvement. Mr. Miller doesn't seem pleased with your response. Well, at least you've got my ring back. You have a journey ahead of you. As a form of gratitude, let me give you something. My men will load some supplies onto your ship. He turns over to the burros. As for you, we will see. Supply must be another currency?
Cap, when we get to the castle, they will ask questions. Who are you? Where are you going? By the holy light, did you submit the I-94 form? All that bureaucratic nonsense. As annoying as it is, we'd better not start off on the wrong foot. Something tells me the man in yellow won't appreciate it if we stir up unnecessary trouble. By the way, how did you get to know him? I've worked with the man several times, but I doubt he would hire a ship to help me out.
Inspect for 20 gold. Sell for 100. Got it. What do I need money for? That's what I need money for. Okay, I'm beginning to understand how this cannon works. But there doesn't seem to be any way to check your inventory, which is a little frustrating. And now we might have enough to figure out what this mask is. Inspect allows to reroll tests of resolve. Nice. Customs office. Approach castle gates, but there don't seem to be any guards, neither next to the gates nor on top of the walls. Next to the entrance is a small door with a customs office sign. As you enter, you are greeted by a small room filled with a measurement and weighing equipment and several tables and chairs, all empty except one. Behind it is a young woman in the Imperial officer robe. Greetings, welcome to the castle of Saint Isidore. My name is Lucia de la Torre, and I am the Lieutenant Castellan. How may I be of assistance? She gives you a polite smile awaiting your response. Why the castle so empty? Feels strange, doesn't it? On a typical day, hundreds of people would be manning the posts and operating the defense towers. But today is not a typical day. Today is the pilgrimage to the shrine of Saint Isidore, the patron of this castle and the surrounding lands. Seems like the castle's rather defenseless. She leans forward a bit and continues in a hushed tone. That's what I told the Lord Inquisitor. But he insisted that this time was special and that the ceremony would require more people and preparations. It shouldn't be a problem. As Lieutenant Castellan, I am sure I can help you with whatever you might require. However, if it's the travel permit you seek, there is an issue. Fortunately, unauthorized travel within the New World is strictly prohibited based on the truce terms between the Empire and the Old Kingdoms. I would need you to provide a letter of sponsorship from a notable citizen or patron of the capital. A letter from the Yellow Man? Person may not sound like a reputable source. Give me a minute. I need to consult the ledger. Exit the room to the back entrance. A couple minutes past, you start to wonder how massive this ledger must be to take so much time when suddenly a loud bell is heard across the castle. Something is happening outside. You rush back to your ship.
Steady, lads. Prepare to engage. Remember the drill. Turn. Fire. Repeat. Aim for the sails and the engine pipes. If I see any men cowering, I will throw you overboard myself.
There are coins in them there chests. Oh, greedy bugger. Something happened? I think I took a full broadside.
Down you go! Ha ha ha! Now that was a proper good fight, Captain. Let's head back to the castle. Miss Stellator has some explaining to do.
Because the alarm bell finally stops and the castle is still on high alert, you can see small groups of people sprinting around the castle walls. Soon after, Lucia bursts through the door, breathing heavily. She looks like she's been running for quite some time. Apologies, Captain. We could not provide any covering fire, but you managed just fine. Good job dispatching those ships. So where were we? You can see her agitation. The attack on the castle was much a surprise to her. Who were those who attacked? Honestly, I don't really know. They must be some sort of pirates. However, they knew precisely when the castle was most vulnerable in their ships. She paused for a second, considering if she wants to tell you their ships were unusual. Why was there no support from the... what does she mean by saying the ships were unusual? The ships look much more well-maintained than usual. Not the rust buckets local scum dares to call a vessel. With their strategy. Not a single shot fired upon the castle itself, as if they were targeting specifically you. Reminder of the travel permit. Ah, yes, of course. I've checked your papers. Usually it won't be enough, but I can't ignore your help defending the castle. She seems reluctant. Perhaps what she is about to do is directly violating the established protocol. Her tone suddenly becomes more ceremonial. Considering your help repelling the attack on St. Isolde Castle, I, Lucia de la Torre, Lieutenant Castellan, by my authority commend you for your valiant defense against the enemy on the Empire's behalf. I grant you free passage through the New World. She smiles and hands you over your papers. And now, if you excuse me, I have an investigation to conduct. If you wish to leave us, head towards the mountain and turn left. There's a lighthouse nearby. Safe travels, Captain. I wish there was some way to check your inventory. Maybe there is. Boost aim shield. There is not. So the only way to find out how much money you have is to keep track yourself or park somewhere that asks you for coin. That's frustrating.
Seems like we've done what we came for. What did Lucia say? Lighthouse to the left of the mountain? We can head straight there, but we won't be returning, so keep that in mind.
What is this? No-go zone of some kind. New Cloudshire and venture into the space. New Cloudshire with a heavy heart. The ambush of the castle was no coincidence. Someone knew you were coming. Caution must guide your steps now. The road ahead will only get darker. Now you must travel beyond towards the city where the man in yellow awaits. If there are answers to be found, they may begin with him.
All right, Captain. Let's keep moving. When traveling between the stars, best not stray too far off course. Drifting through the void ain't exactly good for morale. So stick to the waypoints. They'll guide us through, though it'll cost us time and supplies. Every journey will eat into our stockpile, and if that runs dry, the crew's bound to get a bit twitchy. But don't worry, we've got enough to make it to the city, as long as we don't take any scenic detours.
Okay, so each waypoint costs a supply. Blinking stars. You sit in the captain's chair on the commander's deck, observing the night sky. Myriads of tiny dots create peculiar shapes, guiding you through the vast darkness of empty space. Then, suddenly, in the blink of an eye, one of the stars disappears. Look at it. Witness the sky forget its own constellation. You observe the spot for some time, nothing happens, but then you notice one more star disappear from view, then another and another. The constellation effect of the cascading effect of the whole section of cosmos just ceases to exist. It feels unreal. The magnitude of the event stars to press on your nerves. Eventually the event starts to press on your nerves. Oh, that didn't work. Space anomaly, dream, hallucination, resolve and knowledge -2. Something connected to the veil. You don't know what it could be. Your mind is rushing through possible explanations. Overwhelmed, you shut your eyes, trying to shield your mind to chase the thought away. Gradually, you calm down. When you open your eyes, all the stars seem to be in their place, all except one. Later, when checking the charts, one detail comes to light. The star you saw disappearing was never there in the first place. You spend some time studying the maps of constellations, but you can't find any mentions of it, except a small piece of paper hidden between the pages. On it is a peculiar depiction of a star. Star which was never there. There's a boat. The lighthouse. See a beam of light in the distance that differs from the stars in the sky. You notice it several days before, but as you get closer, you can finally see its source. A lighthouse stands on a floating rock, allows nearby ships to navigate safely in the vastness of space. As you land and set foot ashore, you see a strange woman. She awaits your approach. Welcome, Captain. You've arrived just in time. I hope the journey so far has not been too troublesome for you. Did you know you were coming? Yes, among other things as well. Almost too predictable. But that's a good thing. It means everything is going as planned. How did she know? I was told all about you by the gentle shimmering of the stars, by the soft breeze of the void. Your every move carries you along the path. Every action creates ripples on the surface of the water. Who is she? What some sort of oracle? You can hear a quiet chuckle. Your guess seems to amuse her. An oracle? I guess you can say so, yes. The exact definition would be inconsequential and thus meaningless. Call me the lighthouse keeper. Feel free to stay at my home and rest a bit. Inside you may find a guest room and get some sleep. Prolonged starfaring subjects your mind to, let's say, stress. Something about the journey. What would you like me to tell you? The past? It won't help you much. It may confuse you. The future? Now that once I do, there won't be much you can do to change it. Past. Nice. Let's see. Perhaps this will work. She opens her eyes again. The light of her lamp goes dim for a moment, intensifying the brightness of her eyes. The scholar called out from the depths between worlds, trapped by his dreams, ensnared by ambition. The jester heard the plea. He seized the moment, carved a path, and opened the door. The moon waits, bound in chains, patient and still. The unnatural glimmer in her eyes softens. The lamp shines bright. Don't overthink my words too much. It won't do you any good. We shall meet again soon. Before you can ask anything else, she is already gone. You stand alone on the pier and the lighthouse illuminating the space around you. This is a battle. Ship graveyard, yeah. Pass by a group of ships. They drift across the empty void, all damaged, broken, and tangled together. In the clutter, you see a massive ship of the line. A gaping hole in its hull exposes the bowels. Explore. The ship is enormous, a behemoth of a combat vessel, compensating in size for what it lacks in technology. Judging by the outdated design and the banners you see inside, it must have belonged to one of the old kingdoms, a fractured group of royal families opposing the massed prophet. You search through the ship, not much is left. It must have already been looted multiple times. What worries you is a strange sound coming deep from within the ship. Sounds like some wailing. Go deeper. You go deeper into the ship, submerging yourself in the endless corridors, a tangled mess of semi-destroyed passages. With each step, the sound grows louder. Finally, you reach the door leading to the engine room. Behind it must be the solar core, the heart of the ship. You open it and step inside. Inside, a horrifying scene is unveiled. The solar core, which should have been dead for a long time, is active and radiates with energy. On its surface, you can see the twisted faces of the crew members fused into the core. They are thrashing around, screaming in agony. This is wrong. You want to get out immediately. Approach or retreat? I kind of want to approach. I have some artifacts that'll help. Allows to reroll. Plus 10. Allows to reroll. Confirm. Critical success. You muster your courage and get closer to the core. When the core's casing was damaged, it affected the engineering crew. The core sucked them up close, trapping them in this state, now feeding off their torment. What remains of the casing are wooden splinters inscribed with the incantations necessary to confine the core's power. There isn't much you can do about it. It's too dangerous to disable the core in its unstable state. Wipe clean this abomination. You bring some powder kegs over and place them around the core. Back to your ship, you sail at a safe distance and fire at the remnant. A well-placed shot reaches the engine room, detonating the powder. Despite the distance, the shockwave rocks your ship. Along with the heat, it carries over a quiet sound. Sounds almost like a brief sigh of relief. So this has got some Sunless Sky vibes, Sunless Ski vibes, sea vibes to it. Ambush. As your ship passes between the asteroids, you suddenly notice a couple of sloops and a massive gunship approaching. They fly under the colors of the Inquisition and signal you to stop your vessel. You slow down and wait for the ships to approach. A larger man can be seen standing on the gunship's deck. You there, Captain Riggs is speaking. Sunder immediately. This is a restricted sector. Travel permit. You pull out your travel permit and wave it high above your head for everyone to see. Ha, nice try. Do you know how many foreigners I've seen? Hell, I've used one myself. Last chance, Captain. Shut down your engines and prepare to be rewarded. Prepare for a fight. Now that's more my liking. I was not expecting you to let me board anyway. See, boys, told you we will get some fun. So, Cap, back to you. Any last words before I blow you straight to Corona Borealis? Who ordered this ambush? Some very important people. They even gave me this fine ship to get the job done right. His grin widens. You must be a big fish, Captain. But big or small, I got 'em all the same. He raises his cleaver and points toward you. Boys, open fire. Too far. missing a ship. Alright, one ship down. Maybe I sunk the other one? Thankfully, the solar cannon is the only thing that beats solar energy. Nice. Now what? Okay, so there's an exit point. With the threat dealt with, you can continue your journey, only to find only the final stretch left. However, as the enemy gunship crumbled, you saw a small rescue boat dashing away toward the city. Perhaps it is not the last time you'll hear of the captain of that ship. Onwards. Reach the city for the first time. At last you reach the city, the beating heart of humanity in this corner of the stars. Somewhere within waits the man in yellow. You must find him and uncover the truth behind your father's disappearance. Looks like I have a lot of choices. A bussy port where military, merchant, and research vessels rest side by side. Crews load cargo, inspect rigging, and prepare for distant journeys. Explore. The docks. As your ship docks at the port, you can see a strange man among the crowd, dressed in a peculiar shade yellow suit. He springs to action the second he sees your ship. That's not creepy at all. Ah, at last! I was getting worried. I presume you are the captain I was waiting for? He gives a courteous bow, though his porcelain mask remains expressionless. The man in yellow at your service. To what do I owe the pleasure? Introduce yourself. Right, the loving child of my dear old friend Leonardo. I do hope you will be able to help. Your father is not in the best state he could have been, although it could have been worse. What happened? Let's just say he got a bit carried away. Not every door is meant for a human soul to step through. If you wish to find him, you must first meet Professor Ravenscoft. She works at the academy and will indulge you in all the minor details. I would really love to stay and chat with you, my new friend, but alas, duty calls. Is there anything else you want to know before I go? Why do you want to help? Reason? Should everything have a reason? Do I help you just because I can? Am I even helping you, Captain? Some do believe that all actions and reactions involuntarily consequences of past events. But does that mean that you have no choice in the matter? I surely hope that's not the case. With that out of the way, I bid you farewell. We will meet again later. I wanted your help with one other task. Safe travels and bon voyage. He gives you another courteous bow and half strides, half trots towards the port exit. The academy must be closed at this hour. You may want to wait till morning to meet Professor Ravenscoft. Tavern! A favorite stop for starfaring captains, the tavern offers warm and hearty meal and a moment's peace. Beneath its low ceilings and warm beams, stories are shared, alliances formed, and troubles briefly forgotten. Explore. Salt. The tavern. You look around the tavern and approach the barkeep. Ah, customers, welcome, welcome. Name's Salt, proud owner of this humble establishment. Take a seat, will you? You look hungry. Salt emerges into the kitchen and quickly returns carrying a bowl of steaming lentil soup. It tastes relatively palatable. Well, what do you think? The only good thing about it is that it's at least warm. Hey, that's already better than the last time. Still getting used to this thing. He shows you his right hand, and his shiny metal hook reflects the dim light of the tavern. Ask about the hook. Just a reminder of my former past. I used to walk on a slippery slope until I was caught. For my crimes, I was sentenced to have my arm burned off. The usual punishment for thievery. But it was a good thing, sort of say. Set me straight on the right course. Set me straight on the right course. The Inquisition may sometimes look heavy-handed, but the approach works. Burned his arm off? Oh my gosh. You can hear an angry shout from behind a closed door near the counter. Salt turns towards the source. By the light, Riggs, just give me a minute. He turns back to you. Sorry, Cap, my brother got injured recently and needs his wound to be dressed. Is the wound serious? Nah, just a couple of scratches. Got hit by a bunch of wooden splinters on our last adventure. My brother is a rowdy one. He had to settle down. His smile fades for a moment. But he picks it up immediately. Should be alright. To be safe, I've ordered some ointments back from Earth. There is this alchemist who claims they can help the wounds to heal. Another similar shout can be heard. I'm coming, alright, by the stars. You whine like a little girl. Sorry, Cap, need to go. By the way, he takes out a bottle from under the counter. Here, I've heard you've helped some folks back at Cloudshire. They asked me to pass you this small present of theirs. Salt winks at you and walks inside the inner room. Strong brew. Visit the academy to learn of the artifact's power. A thick, bitter liquid that warms the chest and steadies the limbs. Take a rest. Head to one of the rooms upstairs. It's a cozy room with surprisingly clean sheets. It looks like the innkeeper really tried to make the place comfortable. You lay down and shut your eyes. You'll need the rest. In the morning, you will head to the academy. For whatever reason, the man in yellow wasn't particularly helpful. Hopefully, Professor Ravenscroft can tell you more. A favored stop, blah, 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 exit. This has got to be the academy, but what is this building? The shipyard. Okay. Academy, a place of quiet obsession, where scholars in blue robes pore over artifacts and equations alike. Here, modern science intertwines with occult knowledge in an unending effort to understand the veil and perhaps to bend it. Inspect artifacts. Test of knowledge. Strong brew. Thick, bitter liquid that warms the chest. Explore. County building towers over a luscious garden. Several people dressed in long blue robes are walking around. You wander through the halls until eventually you see a door marked Professor Ravenscroft. Inside you see a young woman. She is crouched over a table and focused on writing. Hearing your entrance, she addresses you without lifting your head. For the last time, I'm not interested in whatever garbage you bring. Stop pretending you can find valuable relics in the local outhouse. And don't return unless you bring something real. Cough. She lifts her head and looks at you. Deep, dark circles show many restless nights. She must have been neglecting rest for quite a while now. Oh, apologies. I thought you were someone else. Although the answer's still the same. Now please, close the door from the other side. She crouches over the table again and continues writing. Father disappeared, did he? In that case, please go to room 404. Missing scholars isn't rare. 404, wow. So we have due process. Now, is there something specific you want from me, or do you intend to just keep standing there? Leonardo. She suddenly stops and puts down her quill. Now look at that. I never knew Leonardo had a child, although he didn't exactly like to talk about anything outside his work. She points to the chair in front of the table. Vedika. I am Vedika Ravenscroft, the head of artifacts expert. Apologies for my previous demeanor. The work here can get overwhelming. Now, that expedition you mentioned, how much do you know about it? You don't know anything in particular. Unsurprising, that expedition wasn't exactly official. Your father managed to pinpoint the location of a distant moon called Boreas. It is a small planet following a uniquely shaped orbit, and it is very hard to predict. Leonardo calculated the exact path a ship would take to intercept the planet's movement. That expedition was of utmost importance to him. He was looking for an ancient ritual site. So Leonardo, being him, pulled some strings, made some promises, and got the funding he needed. We lost contact with the expedition 1 month ago. The Academy's council still discusses whether sending a rescue mission is worth the risk. Ritual site. We are not the first to arrive here. We studied multiple ruins scattered around the sector, and so far, it is safe to assume that there used to be a whole civilization before, incredibly attuned to the influence of the Veil. Father had a particular interest in their ritual sites. He believed it was possible to traverse the Veil safely through them. Or at least that was his theory. Should you follow Leonardo's expedition, take caution. We don't exactly know what happened. They should have set up a distress beacon if something went wrong, but they never did. I suspect the worst. She's quiet for a moment. Captain, can I ask you a favor? What's up? Amongst the expedition was my brother, Cornelius Ravensclaw. If you manage to find him or find anything left of him, please let me know. She hands you over the planet's coordinates. Now go. I have more work to do. If you have any artifacts you would like to sell, you can do it here at the Academy. Explore the shipyard. Wander around the shipyard when you stumble upon a peculiar hangar. Its windows are barred shut, although light comes from between the planks. The door is locked, but you can probably force it open. Pooh. You lean next to the window and look inside. However, as you do, a heavy hand lands on your shoulder. You turn around to see a massive woman holding a hammer. Something I can help you with, Captain? Did you get lost? Apologize, and I did not intend to catch you doing so, but here we are. My name's Marfa. I oversee the shipyard workers. If you want to improve or modify your ship, I'm the one to talk to. How is life here? Pretty hard, as you could have guessed, but it used to be worse. At least now we do have some resemblance of freedom. Shipyard itself, though, still belongs to a Shivra. She spits on the sidewalks. A Shivra? One of the old kingdoms. My late husband was sold to a Shivra years ago because his former landlord needed some extra gold. When the war ended, the city became a neutral zone, and the Empire insisted that all workers in the city be freed of servitude. But we are to compensate our former masters for now missing free labor, as well as the tools and materials we use. What happened to her late husband? He got crushed by a bunch of logs. My husband was working late one night trying to fill the quotas, got careless and forgot to tie a knot. Such things happen when you are forced to carry the night shifts. She looks at you and then at the hangar. Captain, you must have traveled a lot. If you managed to get a hold of a spare solar core, can you bring it to me? We're working on a project and we are missing a crucial component. Great. Think about it. I need to get back to work, but when you come next time with the solar core. I'll show you what is behind that door. She gives you a nod and heads inside the hangar. She enters you catch glimpse of what is inside. Several manufacturing machines used to cast solar cannons. I got 70 coin. We are done here. Prepare to sail. Boros, an elusive planet with an unpredictable orbit, and the last known stop of your father's expedition. The journey ahead is uncertain. What awaits there is unknown, and how far we will have to go before we can return. Even more so. Essential provisions of the journey, preserved food, water, and the bare necessities to endure the void. You trace the lost expedition path. The man in yellow offered little. Your father's disappearance seemed to matter far less to him than you had hoped. But not all paths were fruitless. Vedika, a scholar from the academy, revealed a trace of truth. Leonardo traveled to Boras, a distant, desolate world, home to a forgotten ritual site. And now you must follow. Sail across the space sector when in the distance you see a group of islands and a thick black smoke coming from one of them. Explore. You head to the island and disembark. At last you find the source of the smoke, a small settlement, or rather what remains of it. The ground is covered with thick black overgrowth, similar to the one you've seen charred by the fire. It smolders toxic smoke. What is worse, close to settlement center square, you can see a small clearing, and on it a pile of corpses. Multiple bodies stacked together in some sort of pyre. Determine anything precisely. Emanating from them. Further upon many of the strange cysts. Woo! Just barely. Right? Unless that's a failure. This is a failure, okay. Cyst, you are definitely solid, resembling stone. Touch one of the cysts. Burning sensation spreads through your arm. Hidden between the asteroids, the vision fades. This is another wreck. Stranded boat. In the distance, you see a small ship, barely capable of starfaring. It must have gotten stranded here. The ship does not move and does not signal you. However, you notice a faint light coming from one of the portholes. The light quickly extinguishes. You board the ship, although a ship is a strong word, more like a fishing boat. The deck is empty, but there is a small door on the deck leading to the cabin. It is locked from the other side. Muffled voices can be heard from beneath the deck. As soon as you find no other way in, it seems like your eyes are not as good as they used to be. Inside the dark cabin, you see several hooded figures cowering in the dark corners. Well, Stanza, please let us be. We mean no harm, just passing by. Who are these people? Man lifts his hood. Behind is an elderly face covered in deep wrinkles and strange cysts. The cysts have an unnatural color as if they're slightly glowing in the dark. Just poor refugees. Our village was destroyed. Please don't harm us. What happened to the village? We were living in peace, not bothering anyone, just a simple space whaling village. Then the Inquisition came, burned everything down. We were heading to a place. We were promised to be safe there, but we got lost along the way. The man's voice is filled with deep sorrow. Why did the Inquisition do that? They rounded us up in the village square and claimed we were tainted by some sort of veil. We don't even know what they meant. Then the slaughter started. The people seemed terrified and malnourished. They'd be able to reach their destination? Thank you, Captain. We shall be going. Here, take this. Well, that seems reassuring. This is exactly like Sinless Sea almost. Different game, but pretty much Sinless Sea. You get back to your boat and start sailing away. You see the other boat powering its engine and doing the same. When the Inquisition massacred their village, if there's something wrong with those people. Ready the cannons. Not gonna fire on civilians. Boat is slowly sailing away, and the Inquisition rubs me the wrong way. The lighthouse. You sail close to a nearby lighthouse, hoping to get some rest. As you disembark, you see the lighthouse keeper. She sits at a small table beside a cliff, observing the night sky. As you approach, you can hear her voice. Welcome back, Captain. I sense you've already met that friend of yours, the one who prefers to call him the man in yellow. Was your meeting to your satisfaction? The man in yellow's motives are unclear. It didn't surprise me. He does many things, but I would not call them help. Hey, 00. They deserve it. Hurting the poor space whales. Heretics. Nice one. He introduces you to situations, observes how you will act. Great. Oh, how you doing, 00? Man in yellow. Yes, we've known each other for quite a while, since we were both still young. He always amused me with his actions, pulling and pushing on the strings of fate. With him around, I've never felt certain about the future. Maybe that's what I like about him. Now, though, we have parted ways. When you see Zelthur next time, tell him I said hi. Doing the Dune thing some. Nice, how you liking it? She gives you a brief sigh At the remembering, as if remembering something from the past. Now then, would you like to hear another prophecy of things that will not change? Agreed. Just as the last time she closes her eyes, a moment passes and she opens them once more. The watcher of the past waits patiently for your loving touch. It promises safety and speaks of home and peace. The anticipation rises and temptation is unavoidable. Having fun. Still pretty early, so can't give a super good review on it yet, though. Fair enough. I've seen a. I don't know. I've seen some playthrough. How about I say that? Some playthrough, and it looks interesting. My concern is that it looks a little challenging, and it looks like it's a game better played with others than single. Not that you can't, but that it is harder to do it that way. That said, it looks like they got the Dune feel down pretty damn good. Vehicles, the sandworms, all that stuff looks like they did a really good job with it. Definitely better with others from what I've seen. Been playing with a buddy, nice. The light in her eyes ceases. Home. Is home a place you return to, or the souls you carry with you through the storm? She pauses for a moment before continuing. Now, I would like to be alone. The dance of the stars is particularly charming today. She turns away from you and continues watching the sky. Mysterious obelisk. As you sail across space, a surprising sight unfolds, an ancient obelisk floating amongst ruins of unknown origin. It is directly on your course, and it gets closer with every passing minute. I don't have any power, damn it. Am I inside a rock? I am inside a rock. Thank you, Jameson. I have no health left. Oh crap. I think I survived. Thank you, Jameson. See a large, peculiar shaped structure. Its surface is covered with mysterious symbols, and a glowing orb is right in the middle of it. You can see several bodies laying in a circle around it. There are no signs of life, but their faces are unusually peaceful. Critical success. The structure is made of lumastone and looks much older than anything you would expect to find. The most abnormal part is the centerpiece. It reminds you of the solar core installed in your ship, with a much more refined and precise design. The orb emits a pulsing light, and a warm feeling washes over you with each rotation of its rings. You can sense a presence inside of the obelisk, as if a faint whisper, urging you to approach closer. What could go wrong? Let's do the magnifying glass. Maybe this will get us somewhere. It did. Okay, good. Critical, so just a normal success. You place your hand on the surface and close your eyes. At first, nothing happens, but then several images start to appear in your head. The image of distant towers floating between the clouds, of ginormous creatures floating in the air. They all seem to be calling to you, urging you to join them in their dance. The image is soothing and comforting. You feel welcomed and protected between being here. You feel like you want to stay. Abandon your mission and stay in your new home. You facing alien monuments? Heretic. No, Mama always told me to never dance with aliens. Good way to get probed. Maybe that's what you're into? I feel that there's someone in chat whose mama said don't knock until you try it. Alright, we gotta get a 40. The golden mask allows me to reroll. Travel gives me plus 10. The strong boot gives me a plus 10. Critical success. You muster your resolve and retract your hand. The obelisk is sorry to see you go, but acknowledges your decision. It leaves you with a small gift, a tiny dot on the back of your hand. Its surface is rock solid, slightly glowing in the dark. Oh, that's not good. I think I've just been marked as a heretic. Onwards. Boreas. Drifting world with an unpredictable orbit. Hard to find, harder to leave. Leonardo's expedition came here seeking a forgotten ritual site, a place where, if the theories are true, one might pass through the veil itself. Now you must uncover what happened, what became of them. Oh, this seems like a homely place.
Boreas. Never thought I'd find myself navigating these winds. Can't say I like the place. Not to say sharp. Find what remained of the expedition. Grab you do roll down and get the hell out.
Did I give me anything? Nope. Looks to be a bit of a wind on this planet. Unsettling crevasses. A deep scar crosses the planet's surface, cutting into the crust. Dim light bounces between the icy walls of the crevasse, slowly dissipating before it reaches the bottom. An elevator can be seen nearby, its mechanisms frozen solid into a dark chunk of ice. Strong brew. That's a crit, yeah. You clear the ice easily, and the mechanism is as good as new. You step inside, and the elevator soon reaches the bottom of the crevasse. It's getting cold, and the light from your lamp illuminates only a small area around you. Suddenly, a voice can be heard nearby. An elderly voice. Ah, visitor. So glad you've come. It was starting to get lonely here. Another voice, a younger one, can be heard. What do you mean, old man? Isn't my company not enough for you? I only have one use of the magnifiers left. Pooh. You stay still, listening closely to your surroundings, but to no avail. They sound close, but you can't detect the exact location. Moreover, you can see 3 large holes in the ground, enough for a person to squeeze in. There's something stuck in 2 of them. Visitor, we're here to ask about your car's extended warranty. God damn it, Squirrel. The young voice can be heard again. Don't sweat it, Captain. We are right here. Got stuck with this old fool when the storm came. It's getting hard to breathe in the cold air. Your breath is shallow, and icicles are forming on your eyelids. The voice comes from one of these bigger holes in the ground, shaped like silhouettes. What happened to them? We were part of the expedition. We were here when the storm struck, looking for a way inside the planet. There's supposed to be an ancient ritual site inside, but we could not find the way in. It was so cold, Captain, you can't imagine. We crawled into these holes in the ground, hoping it would shelter us, and it did. Can you imagine? It became so warm and peaceful. I only wished we had more people with us. Having the same companions for weeks grows tiring. This hole is made for me. We're getting into my precious territory very quickly with this hole. You can see one more hole in the ground just the size that would fit you. It's perfectly shaped with smooth walls and almost soft edges. You can feel a sense of warmth coming from it. This hole is where you're here for you. A special hole for a special captain. This place is cursed. You must attempt to cleanse it. 58. Let's try it. Booyah! Booyah! You wave your hand and chant the incantation warding against the veil. The voices disappear as the last words come from your mouth, and the hole's unnatural appeal subsides. Part of the hole, part of the crew?
By the stars, this one's a bloody nuisance. Didn't expect this much of it when I signed up for a spacefaring crew.
Part of the crew, part of the stew,
Shit,
wow.
Just thinking about which old man's crew had to endure in this muck.
Wow, Double O. Though I gotta say, it's a version I've never heard, and I quite like it. Still, wow. Really doing Davy Jones here? Part of the hull, part of the crew? Part of the ship, part of the crew. Floaty beacon boys. They don't blow up. There's always the enemy adaptation, part of the harem, part of the crew. Wow. There was a Who's the Traitor type game like a year ago where you were sailing a ship through an icy area and could eat crew members for food. They like to say that a lot. That makes sense. When you explain it that way, I can totally see the origins. Alright, the wind is a pain. And the fact that they included it as... Oh. Oh my. We already have a dot from an obelisk. Well, that's kind of cool, if not utterly terrifying. Once more, you see the obelisk. This time you feel that communicating with it will be easier. You've already met. The core in its center glimmers gently in the surrounding snow. Can you attempt to pull it out? Touch the obelisk first. Critical success. You place your hand on the obelisk and focus your senses. A vision of events not so long ago comes to mind. Two men standing next to the obelisk arguing. One is cold, determined, and dismissive. No time to waste, wishes to go deeper. The other is hesitant, agitated, concerned. Too much hurry, too few preparations. He holds a book bound in leather, a thick tome filled with knowledge. That book You can find it. It awaits deep below in the cave inside a temple. Then another image, different perspective, different time. Some men, but also more people, several boats, discerning into the depths of the planet. The vision fades. That would be all the obelisk wanted to show you. Strong brute. Give me liberty or give me booze. Spin, baby, spin. Pooh. So far, and minus resolve. Pooh. Hi, puppy. Yeah. You're making loud noises, you are.
Captain, I've got to say, this maze of rocks and ice ain't exactly my idea of a holiday.
Well, here's a question. No words. So if I saved 4 minutes ago, can I save scum that ability? That thing? You swing me right. So yeah, we're right here. I broke it. Been a good boy, bud. What's up? Okay, so that was just tall enough. I am not doing well with this steering thing. Oh, then my food dish is empty. Pity me. Yeah, well, he's been doing a lot of things. You take damage when you hit things? Yeah, that would seem to be what is done. So I can, okay. Extract the solar core from the ancient obelisk. It takes formidable strength and precision, but you manage, together with the crew, you detach it from its nest. The core pulsates with power, but is stable enough to be transported to the ship. The core is valuable and can be quickly sold at the Academy, but someone else may be interested in acquiring it. It's only 10% empty. It's only 10% empty. So I know that the dog is not hungry, because I had an experimental lunch today, which involved air-fried carrots and air-fried chicken. And the carrots weren't too bad, but I definitely did more than I needed to. So he got some carrots and then his dog food. So I know he's not hungry. It's more of I want attention. I will say, the more I play this game, the more it seems like there's a lot of great
Captain,
ideas.
I've got to say, this maze of rocks and ice ain't exactly my idea of a holiday. What was your father's expedition hoping to find out here anyway? Could have dug up old ruins somewhere. Warmer. Hope that ritual site Leonardo was looking for was worth it. Otherwise, all that frostbite would be for nothing.
Can you go up and down at all? No. No, I can't. Literally, this is all of the controls. I can't even open up my inventory and tell you what I have in my inventory. Or at least I can't find the button, and it doesn't tell me here. So, like I was saying, there's a lot to this game that's like... Roasted carrots are good. Yeah, I enjoyed the roasted carrots. They were pretty good. There's a lot to this game that's like... They've got this really great base, this really great foundation. But it could have been... like really great game, but instead they kind of went, it's a prototype. It almost seems like I don't know, like they're floating an idea, and if they get enough investors, they'll make the real game. Cut them up, then in a bowl mix some melted butter, apple cider vinegar, salt, garlic pepper, bake in a pan. Nice. I took baby carrots and dumped them in the air fry. And then I think I turned it on for 10 minutes. And that was the extent of it. I will say, too, I have had so much chicken lately that I'm about ready to swear off chicken. Although I do like breaded chicken, like nuggets and strips and tenders and stuff. Here's a question. Can I... Yes. So I can not take damage by raising the shields. Yeah, that sounds like it could be good, but way more effort than I usually put into my eats. Yeah. I'm lazy. Oh shit, that rock came out of nowhere. My big thing is the cleanup on the other end. Oh, it's an upgrade location. Was not expecting that. So here's the other thing with this pupper that I don't get. Like, I take him out and go to the bathroom at, say, like, 2. And then, like, the two of us next go out at, like, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock the next afternoon. And he's fine. Doesn't make any noises or anything. I sit down in this chair and every half hour or every hour he whines. Tastes really good. You can roast parsnips, onions, and butternut squash like that. Good to know. I will say, one thing I'm loving is the air fryer is so easy to clean up. Like, you don't have to worry about scrubbing or anything. You just wipe it out, spray it with some, or get some soapy water in it, and rinse it out, and you're done. It's so much better than scraping on pots and pans and shit. The other thing is, I have a tiny sink in my kitchen, so it's so annoying to have to do that with, like, bigger cookie sheets. That's the word I'm looking for. Hi, puppy. Yes. I've got you. No, I don't. Maybe I do. No, I don't. Mac attack. Yes, Bork. Yes, we have the Borkinator 9000. Yeah, you're not really into it, are you, tonight, buddy? Are you feeling okay? Meow. Erg. Whoa, careful. Don't want you falling off now, do we, little one? Yeah, he's just not as full of energy tonight as he usually is. Oh well. We got some money. We could upgrade some stuff. Decrease the charge time. We could only upgrade. Yeah, let's do that. If it charged faster, that would be a good thing. Oh, and that place completely healed us. That's really great, actually. Much as I hate to go back out into this channel, I think that's where we need to go. Because that's where these green beacons are. Well, I say that, and it looks like the green beacons are gone? Question mark? Well, there's something else to interact with over here. Well, that doesn't look good. Research outpost. You pass by what seems to be the remains of a research outpost. The roof has collapsed, burying the building underneath. Nope, no go. Research tools. Billy sees some sort of storage is packed with research equipment, and the shelves are surprisingly empty when it comes to supplies. The expedition was in dire condition by the time they left. Nothing was left in stock. Hmm. Oh, okay, so this is the other end of the... Yeah, upgrades. Yep.
Captain! The wind's kicking up a right storm out here. We better find shelter, and quick! All hands on deck! Sails tight! Engines roaring! Move your sorry arses unless you want to become an ice sculpture!
That is one interesting, nice and interesting touch. The energy bar at the bottom of the screen, the yellow, is your boost, it's your forward cannon, it's your shields, and if it goes out, your engines go out, so you lose all maneuverability and thrust. It is the power by which your ship runs, period.
Would you look at that? That's the biggest looking glass I've ever seen. Bet I can spot my house from here, eh?
So there's a research facility. Now what are you up to, pup? Hmm? Door machinery. Counterweights. Alright. Before we go through this.
Oi, Cap. You see those solar crystals scattered about?
Wait. Can I not come
I
back?
made you my last pint of ale. Give him a poke with the solar cannon. And something's bound to happen.
I can't. Okay. Whoops. So that quits. Yeah, the general feel I get from this game is that it's halfway there. There's only one save slot. There's only, yeah. There ain't much there.
Would you look at that? That's the biggest looking glass I've ever seen. Bet I can spot my house from here, eh?
Well, I can't hit the outside of a barn. Alright. We'll work our way in. Yeah, here we go. Test the resolve. Plus 50, damn. Knowledge. Knowledge. Whoa. Perception, actually. And knowledge. Allows to reroll a knowledge check. The telescope. You enter the station submerged into its dark corridors, empty storage, and now vacant laboratories. Eventually, you reach the observatory. Deprived of purpose, the telescope stands solemnly in the middle of the room. Damn. Critical success. Multiple scrolls are stacked together describing how instead of simply receiving the information from beyond the veil, one can pass through it. Judging by the notes in your father's handwriting, he believed there is such a place where here, inside Boreas, where the crossing can be attempted. Furthermore, a peculiar pendant seems to have been in your father's possession. The eye pendant. You approach the telescope and gaze through the eyepiece. It's hard to figure out many details. The telescope is focused on an immense nebula struggling to pierce through its clouds. The telescope's surface is inscribed with a set of arcane runes, perhaps used to enchant and improve its capabilities. But some of them seem to have faded away. Confirm. Catch a distant glimpse of the impossible. The runes are familiar to you and don't require much effort. As the last one is restored, the image of the telescope becomes clear. It shows a ginormous structure floating inside the nebula. You're not sure what it may mean. Got a fair bit out of that. Door machinery. Complex machinery rests in front of you. There is a set of levers, counterweights, and several pipes, all connected to the giant door in the ground, and several solar crystals scattered around the area. Just go spin it and see what happens. Pooh. You examine the machinery, but it is too complex. The sheer number of components, gears, and cogs, tubes, and symbols overwhelms your mind. The only thing you can figure out is that the expedition uses this machinery to remaining energy, and the remaining energy to activate the solar crystals, which in turn operated the door. Perhaps your ship's solar cannon can act to achieve the same result.
Oi, Cap. You see those solar crystals scattered about? I'd wager me last pint of ale. Give 'em a poke with the solar cannon. And something's bound to happen.
Ancient technology. Hit it with a hammer. Sounds good. There it is. These things always do come in threes, don't they? Oh! Aha, I'm victorious. You fought your way past the alien guardians, and now all that remains is to step through. Alright, I'm gonna go take the dog out, guys. I will be right back. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you all on the other side. Red Guardian? What did I do? What did I do, Lily? You can tell me while I'm away. I'll be right back. Sounded like Red Guardian from Marvel. Cool. I'll take that. Also, who's texting me? Damn. Lots of people trying to get a hold. Alright, down the hole. By the way, Lily, I was going to ask, are we going to get a face cam tonight, too? Raging storm, dwindling supplies, Leonardo's relentless pursuit. Whatever the cause, the expedition was driven deep into the planet's heart. Now it's your turn. You must descend through the labyrinth of dark tunnels and hollowed stones. Somewhere below lies the ritual site Leonardo could not let go. That's one thing I won't feel comfortable doing for a while. Fair enough. I managed to get 2 mosquito bites, one on each frickin' arm, and I'm a little pissed. Hi, puppy. What have you got in your mouth? You've got a bone. Well, do you want up or not? Okay, good boy. I will say this has got feelings of, what was the movie, or the television show, The Terror? The Arctic Expedition? You ever notice how Cthulhu is always frozen in ice? It's never somewhere warm, it's always somewhere cold. Well, you're up here now. Oh.
Even better now. Captain, with all due respect, are you sure our ship's the best vessel for cave dwelling?
You got a better option? You want to walk? Aliens Basin. As you cruise through the cave network, you enter a large opening. Multiple remains of alien architecture populate the area. You wonder what the place can be. Combat. As you explore the cave network, something catches your eye. Massive stone basins are interwoven with roots and are erected on the cave floor. The natural moisture condenses in the roots and drips into the basins, producing intoxicating fumes. Take a bath. Examine. Oh, wow. Upon closer look, you realize the basins are not mere decoration. Moisture condenses in the roofs and extending into the basins, mixing with an existing liquid to form a complex sulfate solution. That process, though unique, triggers a sense of familiarity, reminding you of how one would grow salt crystals. What shall you do next? Collect samples. While and continue on your journey. Bath was probably not the best idea, you know? Oh, great, hatchery. As the tunnel merges into a cave opening, you see more alien remains, rows of shells covering the walls, each hosting numerous round objects like giant stone eggs. They stand encrusted into the environment. If I don't win, it wasn't meant to be. Dislodge one of the rocks with utmost caution. Up close, it looks even more like an egg, calcified into stone by time or nature. You're unsure how it can be useful, but you take it anyway. Enter the lighthouse. You enter the lighthouse, a safe haven for starfaring captains that allows rest and respite. Although this one seems to have been abandoned, you wonder what would happen if you took a rest here. Surprise visitor. Go to the door and close your eyes, but struggle to fall asleep after some time. A distant noise starts to be heard from outside, a large shrieking sound. As you leave the room to investigate, you are startled to find an unexpected guest standing next to one of the windows. What a magnificent creatures they were. He points towards one of the windows outside. The place has changed. Glorious temples can be seen around the lighthouse and giant silhouettes flying between them. What is it you are looking at? Glimpses of the past. How it used to be in the days forgone. And look, the old ones themselves. What a sight to behold. A large silhouette can be seen steadily approaching the lighthouse. Why are you seeing the past? He looks at you, his mask remains motionless, but you can feel the underlying surprise. Because you are asleep, of course. How else would it be possible? The veil is extraordinarily thin here. Almost as thin as inside the nebula you might have witnessed. But there is no need for concern. You shall not be affected while you stay inside the lighthouse. Speaking of a lighthouse, there is something I wanted to ask of you, my dear friend. It isn't of a delicate manner. You see, last time with the Keeper, we didn't part on the best terms. That's one reason why I can't be here unless she is away. What happened? Just a misunderstanding, nothing more. I was worried and asked her to abandon the lighthouse and leave with me, but she took it as a personal offense. My request is not a complicated one, Captain. All I want you to do is give her a gift on my behalf the next time you see her. He puts his hand into his pocket and retrieves a small jewelry box of peculiar design. She will be expecting the gift, most likely. It's hard to surprise someone who can read into the future. But I better try rather than not. And now it is time for you to wake up. He claps his hands with a loud sound, making you blink. And as your eyes open, you see the ceiling of the guest dorm room and a nicely packaged bag of supplies. Seems the yellow man upholds the tradition. Thank God, I was getting a little worried about the supplies. Hmm. Onwards. Days of crawling through the twisting vines of Boris have led you here, an ancient complex, crumbling temples, forgotten ritual sites, buried deep beneath the ice and stone. This is where your father's expedition met its end. But perhaps it is not too late to save him. Oh, excuse me.
This must be it. The ritual site Leonardo was chasing. We best head in. Be cautious. Something tells me we're not exactly welcome.
Emergency beacon. Suspended by several balloons, an emergency beacon hovers above the cave floor, its light piercing the darkness. It emits a series of short and long flashes, struggling to send a message to the icy cave crust above. Let's use the runic splinters, maybe? Straw ticket. Confirm. Success. Realign the mirrors and flip several switches. The signal is now stable and powerful enough to reach the orbit. It may soon be noticed. So they did send the beacon. It just wasn't good enough. I gotta say, either there's something this door is definitely 110% meant to keep in, or they had one weird flex when it came to architecture. Might have been a little of both. Another. Occult ritual. As you pass through a shadowed cave, you come upon an uncanny sight. A dried out corpse lies within a circle drawn in blood on the cave floor. The air is still heavy with the scent of iron. Circle. Poo. Cannot decipher it. You notice one more thing. The corpse seems to be clutching a book bound in old leather titled Rituals of the Damned. The book feels important. Oh! That's the Necronomicon. Puppy, you smell like wet dog. Yes, yes you do. I'm not a big fan of Ode to Wet Dog. Where? Okay. Good boy.
Huh. It looks like we've overstayed our welcome. Enemy inbound, Captain. Let's see what they got.
Shit. And I go down in a ball of fire. I think the best bet is to just ignore the whole frontal thing and kind of go around the outskirts. Okay, it doesn't do anything until they actually activate.
It looks like we've overstayed our welcome. Enemy inbound, Captain. Let's see what they got.
Looks like we might be good. Pooh, I was one short.
Captain, do you feel that? The air's thick, heavy. Getting close.
Those look like solar cells or whatever they're called, excuse me. That doesn't look good. I'm gonna call it unhealthy. Reality tear. At last you see it. The tear between the worlds has formed in this ancient temple where the veil is so thin. It's hard to see through it. Myriads of colors twisting and bending, creating a spiraling vortex. This must be the tear your father tried to use to cross through, but attempting to do so yourself would be suicide. Shout. You approach the tear and shout inside. There is no response. You step close for another try when suddenly a hand emerges from the tear and grabs you by your coat. You step back, struggling to keep your balance. The silhouette of a man emerges from the tear and steps down onto the deck. The figure's features are blurry. The whole body is twitching and slightly translucent. But as time passes, it becomes more solid, stable enough for you to recognize the features. Figure's eyes are focused on you. A flash of happiness glimpses in them, but is quickly replaced by a concerned look. You shouldn't be here, child. This is no place for you. Came to rescue him. And who told you I needed rescuing? You've no idea how thin the veil is here. Every breath you take, every thought, it tugs at you, warps you. There is a pause, and the terse's tension eases. His voice softens. Still, suppose I was in trouble. So yes, I am glad you came. But the man in yellow. Ah, Zilthur, a chaotic creature of obscure intentions. You shouldn't have trusted him. I made that mistake myself. This gave shifts to the tear. I came to this cursed rock chasing a theory. I thought I'd calculated it, charted a precise intersection of will and breach. But when I stepped through the tear, I drowned. What do you mean drowned? What is it on the other side? It's difficult to explain. I doubt even I truly understand it. When I crossed through, I was overwhelmed. Directions lost meaning. Every path became possible. I couldn't find the way back, only down. I fell between layers of reality. Not like falling through the air, more like sinking through meaning. I never reached the bottom. I don't know how long I was gone. Time. What does that mean when you're lost in concept? But then I felt you, a familiar presence. Solid, yours. It let me crawl my way back. But not fully. I'm still fractured. Parts of me are scattered down there. Is he going to be alright? I'll manage. Don't waste your concern on me. This is a place. There is a place. A great pyramid is hidden within a nebula. It holds another tear between realities. A stronger, wider tear where, with enough luck, you may have a chance to help me restore my missing pieces. But we must first find Cornelius, my former student. Before I crossed, I saw him preparing one of his rituals. The man is arrogant, but not foolish. He's alive. And he will know how to reveal a path to the pyramid.
Now we must get out. You've already dwelled here for long enough. The veil is thin here. Almost as thin as within the nebula. And I am worried how it might have affected you. We will reach the surface and head back to the city. Wherever Cornelius went, he must have first made a stop there.
Find your father. Reunion. You found him. Your father, lost between realms, now free at last. But the journey has left him shattered. His mind fractured, his soul incomplete. Restoration must come later. First, another pursuit. Cornelius, scholar, cultist, and rival. He holds the key to your father's soul and a plan of his own. Sudden stop. As you sail through between the asteroids, your path is suddenly blocked. Multiple ships stand in line, creating an impenetrable blockade. In the middle is a massive vessel under the Lord Inquisitor's banner. It signals you to shut down your engines and prepare for boarding. As you consider trying a daring escape, you can see a small vessel blocking any possible escape routes. You can hear the voice of your father in your head. Be cautious, child. They will search the ship. That book you found, the one that belonged to Cornelius, Lord Inquisitor will want it, and he rarely asks twice. Damn! Without a moment's hesitation, you spring into action. Time is short, but you know the ship as the back of your hand and all its hidden places. You stash the book in one such place. Cladded in heavy armor, they lead you onto the Lord Inquisitor's ship into his chamber. You pass through a series of corridors into a richly decorated room. Various tapestries hang around the walls, and a large wooden table with golden incrustations is placed in the middle of the room. Behind it sits the Lord Inquisitor. Welcome aboard, Captain. You'll forgive the formality. I'll be with you shortly. He nods towards one of the soldiers escorting you. The soldier hands over several notes as well as a book bound in leather. The book you tried to hide. Lord Inquisitor's gray eyes barely skim through the notes. From what I see, your travels have already stirred no small amount of concern. Does not look good, Captain. Explain. Leans forward slightly, but tell me this. Have you found Leonardo? Last I heard, he wandered far beyond the edge of reason. And he has paid the price for it. His soul is no longer whole. Truth. He studies you in silence, his eyes narrows. You feel as though he's reading past your words, weighing their consequences more than their truth. What the hell? Give it a spin. No such luck. There was another member of Salvatore's expedition, Cornelius Ravencroft, the man who penned this charming volume. He points towards the book on this table. I suspect you're already looking for him. As am I. He's dangerous, Captain. A man unburdened by restraint and deaf to the call of duty. His ambition exceeds his sense. That makes him unstable. I will have a mission for you, Captain. When you find Ravenscroft, and you will, I expect you to ensure he does not succeed in anything. Preferably, he does not remain alive long enough to try. In return, I promise to provide you aid which you will need if you hope to see your father's soul restored. Now, you are free to return to your ship. Safe travels, and do not disappoint me, Captain. Otherwise, our next conversation will be less amicable. He waves you away and diverts his attention to the book. Call of Duty, does he know how to mine salt as well? Wow, Lily.
That went better than I expected. You handled yourself well, child. The Lord Inquisitor's request may sound harsh, but I understand why he wants Cornelius dead. And it's a shame, truly. Cornelius was a brilliant student, more dedicated, more passionate than anyone I had ever encountered. But ambition, his greatest strength, has become his flaw. That book of his, I dread to imagine the cost of what he's written in it. And yet it's that very knowledge that makes him vital. We must find him. There's a place hidden deep within the nebula, invisible to ordinary minds. A monument left behind by the old ones. If there is a way to pass through the veil, to truly cross it...
Thanks, Lily. Let me know when you get started and I can raid you.
And Cornelius may know how to reveal a path towards it.
That way we can all have some fun. I mean, be there for emotional support for Lily. Journey brings you once more to its towering walls and shadowed alleys. This time you seek traces of Cornelius. Clues to where he fled and what he plans next. At the Academy, Vidica awaits. She deserves to know the truth about her brother. Whispering Egg. Perception. Jewelry box. Golden mask. Substance that stings the throat but steadies the hand. You enter the academy and head straight to Vedica's office. Captain, you're right on time. We finally received an SOS signal from Boris. Council can't keep stalling now. They'll be forced to act. Did you learn what happened to the expedition? Tell her about what happened to your father. He did what? What was he even thinking? I'm amazed he managed to crawl his way back at all. Sure, parts of his mind got scattered like dust, but all things considered, I'm surprised there is anything left at all. She exhales sharply, then narrows her eyes. And Cornelius, did you find anything? Find out anything about my brother? A long pause. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. He probably used one of those rituals in the damn book of his. I know he's my brother, Captain, but truth be told, no one would lose sleep if he hadn't made it back from this mission. May sound harsh, but at least I'm honest. Cornelius is a troubled man, and he made trouble wherever he went. Lost count of how many times I had to defend him before the council, explain his actions, cover for his obsessions. Honestly, it would have been easier for all of us, including him included, if he had just let go. Hard to say what he'd do next if he somehow did survive. He never spoke to me about his plans, now that I think of it. He barely spoke to me at all, unless, of course, he needed something. But one thing's certain. He doesn't have a ship. He'd need to hire one if he left the city again. She reaches into her desk drawer and hands you a small, well-crafted pipe and a tin cask of rich-smelling tobacco. In either case, thank you, Captain. This helps me focus. Might do the same for you. Explore. So the shipyard, quieter. You look around and see Marfa approaching you. So, did you get the core? We're nearly done, just waiting for the final piece. Hand over the alien core. Your crew rolls in the solar core on a reinforced cart. Its alien casting hums faintly, casting strange reflections in the shipyard light. Murpha squints at it, then blinks. For a moment she's speechless, then she lets out a sharp bark of laughter. That's not what I expected, but damn, that's even better. Small, stable, plenty of kick. She slaps the side of the cart and grins. Come on, follow me. She leads you to the boarded up hangar. Inside, dozens of workers move with quiet urgency. Stacked beside the walls, rows of solar cannons, not unlike the ones mounted on your ship. Near them, large folded sails of shining filament, likely designed to feed energy into the solar core. That's some impressive work. Every time we try to negotiate, Ashvira sends enforcers. Big men with clubs and paperwork scaring people into compliance. She gestured toward the cannons. But now, they'll think twice before crossing that threshold. With these beauties mounted around the shipyard, we can speak on more equal terms. Sounds like a reasonable plan. It's not my problem. Of course it's risky. Ashvara might bring fire before they bring a diplomat. But I'll take that risk, because I've had enough of crawling. You helped us more than you know, Captain. Take this. She hands you her hammer, an enormous, well-worn tool. It takes both hands just to lift it. I've got new toys now. Next time you stop by, maybe we'll be free folk, or maybe we'll be ashes. Either way, we'll be the ones who choose. Missing barkeep. Approach the bar, but the barkeep is nowhere to be seen. In his place, the young boy you saw last time you visited. Hey, Cat, what can I get you? Where's the barkeep? I can handle it. Not my first night managing the place. Uncle Riggs was getting worse, so he and Salt had to leave. They left a few days ago with this weird guy. Gave me the creeps. Who is the strange man? Don't really know. I just overheard that there is a huge desert where they need to go. The guy said he knew how to help Uncle Riggs, but to do so they would need to travel to some desert planet. You can hear your father's voice. There is only one such planet in the sector. We must follow them there. I have a feeling Cornelius did not decide to help out of the kindness of his heart. Take a rest. Tonight you rest. Explore. You wander aimlessly through the port, observing the surroundings. Many ships can be seen docked at the pier, some loaded with goods destined for Earth, and some loaded with equipment and scholars for another deep space research expedition. What's more, you can see a group of Imperial ships being inspected before departing, and a familiar figure. Captain, I was not expecting to meet again so soon. Find what you're looking for in the city. Truth. See, my inquiries regarding the attack on the St. Isilda Castle didn't go that well either. The Lord Inquisitor in his wisdom judged it would be better for me to occupy a more hands-on position, which honestly was the right call. Never much enjoyed sitting behind a desk anyway. So now I'm the junior investigator. Points towards the vessel behind her. There's been a disturbance in the space sector. Merchants have been reporting on some strange howling they heard near the site of a former battle. I'll be conducting the investigation. Wish her luck. She straightens up a bit. Thank you, Captain. Good luck to you, too. Here, take this. She hands you over a small trinket depicting the sun. Traveling the space can be dangerous. This little something will offer you at least some protection. A bell is rung on a vessel behind her. I'll be going, Captain. See you next time. I have 60 coin. I would like to get the sun inspected, but I need... provisions. Depart. Chris has managed to get back to the city after performing one of his occult rituals. There he was convinced Salt, the barkeep and former pirate, together with his brother Riggs, to travel to nearby desert planet, promising to be able to cure Riggs of his injury. You must find Cornelius and convince him to share the path to the pyramid.
That planet we're heading to, I believe I know why Cornelius went there. There's a site, one we studied long ago. Not unlike the ritual ground you saw, but different in function. The tears usually act as two-way gates, but are also very scarce. However, certain environments allow for a one-sided communication. I suspect Cornelius sought something from beyond. Something that could help him pass through the nebula. But there's still one thing I don't understand. Why would he need the barkeep and his brother?
Unless it was the only way off the city. Sudden panic. Something's wrong. A tremor runs through your hands. The deck of the ship feels more unstable than usual. Each sound echoes too sharply, and each shadow flickers too long. You reach beyond and feel a presence that is not you. It watches still before stepping back. The moment loosens. Perception +4. It's not stopping. Your skin tingles, your thoughts fracture, whispers crawl to your ears, familiar voices speaking words you've never heard. Something crawls at the edge of your mind. I should have sold the splinters. Drawing visual sigils across your arm, recalling fragments of a ward. The air thickens and you sense a presence, a towering shape, distant yet near. It loses interest. You don't remember how it ended, only that it did. The experience was most unsettling, but you feel that you are still of sound mind. Nevertheless, you should try to stay away from the postulations of the Veil and rest as much as possible. Just waiting for Epic to load? Well, you let me know, Lily, and I'll raid you. And then we can provide emotional support. I almost got it out with a straight face. Oh, the lighthouse. Approach inside. The air is warm. Are there quietly cleaning the massive lens? Emotional support, is that what we're calling it these days? You know it! Ah, Captain. Looks like your journey is unfolding just as it should. She gestures towards the bucket by the wall. Would you mind lending a hand? And take the sponge and step beside her. You begin polishing the lenses with slow, deliberate strokes, mirroring the keeper's movements. As the glass cleans and the light intensifies, you see him, your father's ghost, gently circling the lens as it's drawn to its glow. I trust you've passed my message along to the yellow man. Should have let me know. You should have met him again by now. Down in the old lighthouse beneath the planet's crust. She pauses, a faint smile forming on her face. Let me guess, he had a gift for me. Unsurprising. I doubt Zelthur even will ever grasp that I've made peace with the fate bestowed upon us. Still, his little gestures never fail to amuse me. She finishes the final pass across the lens and finally turns to face you. There's no warmth in her eyes, only cold determination. So, shall you present the gift to me then? You take out the box and hand it over to her. Ah, my dear old friend, tasteful as always. Perfect cage for a perfect being. She opens the lid, a blinding light spills out, warm at first, then searing. Floods the room, swallowing everything in radiant silence. Then, just as suddenly the light vanishes, the box clatters to the floor and snaps shut. The lighthouse keeper is gone. Might be a moment longer. Whatever. Onwards. Seems I don't have it installed. Wow. Pantheon, a scorched and silent world where the wind buries secrets beneath shifting dunes. Cornelius was seen heading here. His plan remains unclear, but whatever he sought likely holds the key to navigating the nebula. You must catch up with him before it's too late. Thankfully, it's only a small download. Fair enough. I think this seems like as good a time as any. We just saved. Whoops. I don't know if we're coming back to this. It's a fun little game. It's interesting. I enjoyed it. But it's very simplistic. There's not a lot to it. And yeah. I feel it's got some great bones that they could expand upon, but they didn't for whatever reason. So that's a little frustrating. The artwork's cool. The world seems interesting. Yeah. But anyway, yawn. Thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you had fun with this little excursion. I should be on tomorrow. That said, I'm just gonna double check here. Yeah. So that said, I'll probably be on tomorrow, but I probably won't be on Saturday or Sunday. I've got real life gaming Saturday, and then Sunday is time with my father. So, yeah, probably won't be around for those. I will. I was planning on raiding you, Lily. Plan is to raid you tonight. I figured I'd just blab until you were ready. Is that okay? Or are you referring to something else? Anyway, so probably no stream Saturday or Sunday, and then I don't know, I might end up working late on Monday with my job, so we'll see. Discord is always open. We'd love to have you. Links in the About Me page, or feel free to ask the bot. I'm live even though the game isn't ready. Okay, so we could just raid you right now. Fudge. So yeah, if Lily is ready, I think I'll dump you guys off in her lap. Thanks for posting the Discord, Lily. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. I really do appreciate it. So the story behind where we're going to Lily, Yggdrasil Gaming. And the reason for it is Lily and I have been talking about playing Subnautica 2 when it comes out together, because it's supposed to have um a multiplayer function to it built in, not just modded in. And so I said I'd buy it for her if she played a stream of, or played and streamed Alien Isolation, because we all know how much she loves horror games. So she said deal. So we're gonna go over and watch her play Alien ISO, and in exchange, I will, whenever it's out, I don't know if it's out yet or not, get her. My brain is not working. I will get her the game. So yeah, that's the fun behind all of this. So with that said and done, we're gonna transfer you guys. Thank you guys again for joining me. I hope you had fun. Hopefully we can all have fun with Lily as well here coming up. So here you go, right, Lily. We're on our way. It's good to see the community getting behind Lily. Rating. Stay safe, everyone. Be careful. Have fun.
Oh, that's still not working. Oh, there we go. And it's funny, I rated into myself. Okay, let me just close this real quick. By the way, hello everyone. Welcome to my stream. I swear I'm not unprepared as always, which is kind of a given.
Okay, let's not do that. We're at about 24%, so it shouldn't be that much longer. I mean, I literally started installing the moment Citadel. Yeah. Anyway, back to here. Then turn that off. Okay. So just bear with me for like